From Oshkosh West High School, girls high school basketball features a battle of Oshkosh with a couple of teams searching for victory number one as the West Wildcats host the North Spartans. Hello, welcome to our game broadcast from Oshkosh Media alongside Nick Bodie. My name is Matt Menzel, and Nick, as mentioned, both these teams searching for victory number one. Both have been close but have not been able to go to that hump. One of these teams will tonight.
Yeah, partner, it's interesting. You look at both these teams, they're winless so far. Somebody's looking to get that first W. And if it was just a regular game between two teams that maybe didn't know each other quite this well, wouldn't necessarily be a huge exciting one to watch. But these rivalry games, it doesn't matter if one of the teams is, 1-22 at the end of the season, the other one's undefeated. They're always going to play their hearts out. These kids all live in Oshkosh. They know each other. I think this is going to be a big one. I would look for some exciting basketball tonight, really hard-fought battle.
Roshan Baker will be joined by Abby Hammonds, Annalise Hammonds, Kendra Davis, and Megan Kaminsky, the starting five for West. For North, they counter with Wissink, Brooke Elstead, Emma Lieb, Nadia Griffin, and Bree Gauthier. The injuries also have taken their toll on both of these teams. We'll talk about that as we move along, but the opening tip controlled by the West Wildcats. And note that Roshan Baker also doubles as the team's point guard. Abby Hammonds, just some of the pressure early from North. That's what they love to do, is pressure the opposition, force turnovers right on cue.
There you go.
So a nice takeaway involving Nadia Griffin. You talked about the Spartans and their offense, right now averaging, give or take, about 52 points a game. But both of these teams, one of the obstacles, getting off to a quick start, which has been easier said than done.
And no luck on the three there. Trying the outside shots early. Going to be interesting to see if they keep on trying to work that or maybe go for some more high percentage shooting.
That was Wissink with the first North attempt. Now for the Wildcats, they're averaging about 46.2 points a game, but they've been outscored by nearly 13. A contest here in the first half. Nice move off the window for Megan Kaminsky.
Nice job by Kaminsky, one of the tallest players on this team, standing at 5'10". They're able to use her size down there in the post.
Only scored 2 points on Tuesday against the Galloping Ghosts. The Wildcats able to strike first. They're trying to snap a 6-game losing streak to North. Have not beaten the Spartans since back on February 27th of 2014. That was a low-scoring grinder, 28-21. Three ball coming up short for Brooke Elstead. See the rebound controlled by Abby Hammonds. Annalise Hammonds also part of the starting five for West. She has taken the spot of Kirsten McNulty, the number 2 scorer on this team. Rolled an ankle on Tuesday, will not give it a go here tonight. And so that was the big question mark. How do you fill that void? And Annalise Hammonds trying to do just that.
A lot of passing here, trying to set up the open shot. This is what you need to do against a North team that's going to pressure you and try to force mistakes, as we saw on their last possession.
And our game's first foul goes against these Spartans. It's going to go against Bree Gauthier. That's going to be her first and team foul 1. So the Wildcats on the inbound. They have the 2-0 lead. See how patient they can be against this pressure D. A long deuce coming up short for Kaminsky, tracking down her own miss. Going to post up inside it. Annalise Hammonds was making the cut. Hammonds. See the pressure by Griffin.
And they're going to get her for walking here.
So the traveling violation, indeed, the call here against West. You can see, though, that's the quickness, the aggressiveness, and Nadia Griffin is one of the players that comes to mind, but her ability to just reach in there and, if not cause a turnover, certainly cause some havoc on the inside.
And Griffin is somebody that, watching on film, really shows up on the fast break. She's going to challenge your transition defense. She sits in the bottom of that 1-3-1 zone for North. She'll jump on it, and she can take it the other way for a layup real quick. Here, trying to get back on transition for her own team.
Roshan Baker on the miss, following the pickup by Annalise Hammonds, who came away with the steal. Did you see the move? It's a traveling violation gets called here against Oshkosh North, but that move that was made by Annalise Hammonds, that completely knocked Nadia Griffin off her feet.
Yeah, that was, things getting a little bit chippy down there. You see these in these rivalry games sometimes get going a little bit fast, and you got to be careful. Nobody wants to give a charge. Nobody certainly wants to take one.
Saw the traveling a second ago. That involving Ashley Wissink. Off the inbound by Abby Hammonds. Annalise Hammonds looking inside, nothing there, good pressure D. And we're going to have a turnover here against West.
And now we'll see North here coming down trying to counter. So Looks like they're going to use Griffin to take it up court. She is a little bit on the shorter side. She stands just 5'4", but as you can see, she's got some serious handles. Here they're going to try to match her up with a taller defender at the top of the key. 34, Annalise Hammond, stands at 5'9".
And doing all right now, Emma Lieb out of the lineup for North. Instead, you have Haley Mraz, who was out there for the Spartans. Looking for the three ball. It's going to come up short. That was Harmon with the three ball attempt into the game as well for North. Already making a couple of changes early at Griffin, denied by the bottom of the rim. Battle for that loose basketball and a jump ball arrow favoring North.
Griffin looks like she's limping a little bit. She got banged up like a pinball going up that lane there trying to drive it in. Unfortunately, the ball bounced off the bottom of the rim there, so she might have done all that for nothing. We'll see.
And Nick, that's the last thing. Not that you want to ever see anybody get injured, but that's the last thing that North wants to see. Already losing a couple of projected starters during the preseason. Both will be lost for the duration of this season. And so having to go about their business without a couple of experienced juniors active. Again, forcing others to step up. And a foul here coming against West after they were looking for the travel.
And we'll see what their pass-in play is down here. We'll see how aggressively West wants to play this on the inbound.
Annalise Hammond's picking up her first and the first against the Wildcats. Wildcats still lead 2-0 with 14:37 to go here in the first half. Nice for the defense, taking away a lane for Harmon.
Ooh,
right back out,
going.
Wissink. It will make the save. Griffin has to throw it up off the save to avoid the backcourt violation. Hammond's driving, scoring, plus the foul. And Annalise Hammond making it 4-0 Wildcats.
You got to be really careful there if you're North. You do not want to be putting yourself in a position like they're not able to get back because you do not want to be called for the over-the-back foul. You get in there, put yourself in a bad spot, and West is able to capitalize big time. So you do not want to be throwing the ball up court like that. Keep it down low. Watch out for those errant passes.
Boy, it's easier said than done now as we sit here and look back, but it almost might have been a smarter move by Nadia Griffin to take the backcourt violation as opposed to throwing it up for grabs and allowing that transition bucket. Free throw was missed by Hammond. The foul went against Griffin, her first and team foul, 2, and the ball will stay here with the Wildcats, who lead 4-0 with 14:20 left here in the first half.
Looks like the inbound here going to come from Abby Hammonds. Hammonds moves pretty well. She's kind of one of those mid-sized players, stands at 5'10", but she moves like she's a lot shorter, lower to the ground. Seems like kind of a jack of all trades for this West offense.
Nice move, +1 for Megan Kaminsky. Her second field goal already in this half.
Beautiful footwork on the layup there, and doubly bad for this Oshkosh North team that let her make the basket and now gives the and one. So see if she can add some free points from the charity stripe right here.
And a timeout coming here for the Spartans with 14:13 to go in the first half. The foul whistled against Sage Turner, who has subbed, and that's her first and team foul 3. But what an ideal beginning if you're Nikki Sutter and the Oshkosh West Wildcats. They have themselves a 6-0 advantage.
Yeah, this is absolutely how you want to start off at home. You got your home crowd. It's a big rivalry game. Come out 6-0, shock your opponents, and really capitalize on their mistakes. I mean, 2 of those baskets are kind of baskets that North really managed to give them. North committing some fouls, getting in troubles, and as we talked about, putting themselves in a really bad spot, trying to avoid the over-the-back penalty. So this could be a long night for Oshkosh North if they're not able to answer offensively. We can see their coach in the huddle with them right now, trying to figure out a way to get points on the board here.
Now you look too, and for the Wildcats on Tuesday and that loss against Kokona, this is a team that fell behind 22-9 by halftime. I mean, they were behind the 8 ball at the break, unable to recover, attempted to play comeback and have the last couple of games, but have fallen well shy as the ball is batted out of bounds by Sage Turner. Another free throw miss off the and one, and the Wildcats maintain possession up 6-0 with 14:12 to go, first half. Boy, all kinds of
nice.
Black jerseys around, an easy takeaway for Harmon. Triple team on the inside.
Yeah, nice steal in there on the inbound pass, and that's something that you start having to do when you get down by a couple baskets. You need to get really aggressive on those inbound plays.
Wissink against Kendra Davis. Now trapped in the corner, another jump ball. Arrow this time benefits West.
And it looked like Emma Lieb, number 22, was screaming for the ball there, but just unable to get out there. And sometimes that happens. You get 3 defenders up there swarming you. It doesn't just physically bother you. You get rattled mentally. You don't necessarily see who's wide open.
Well, in this case, putting Wissink in a tough spot in that corner. And Abby Hammond's able to force the tie-up.
Looks like they're going with a half-court press here.
Settling for the jump shot that falls.
And that's the danger when you put so many defenders up there at half court. If they can get a quick pass down deep, you leave yourself open for something right there. Easy field goal for West, and it continues to go nice and smooth for the Wildcats.
But an answer as the Spartans get the 3 ball from Ashley Wissink, coming in shooting 36% from downtown. 8-3, West up by 5. That last bucket for the Wildcats scored by Mia Schlotthauer, who was subbed into the game. She's one of the 3 freshmen on the varsity roster. 13-10 on the first half game clock. The ideal beginning for the Wildcats, who again have had their tough beginnings as we've documented. Looking to be the aggressor, put themselves in the driver's seat, but you see the Spartans with a takeaway.
Nice steal there. Did not look like she saw the defender in the pass lane. That might be a charge.
Harmon knocking down the tray.
And they'll call no foul on that, just good clean basketball, and her teammate able to capitalize. Now they're going full court press here as North.
So Alina Harmon able to knock down. They're going to call it a long deuce, but a quick transition bucket, and the Wildcats able to respond. Kendra Davis getting ahead of the pack, able to score 2.
And West responding to this press really, really well. It's like blitzing a quarterback. If you got 4 defenders in your face, you know somebody is open downfield.
So things picking up here, the pacing anyways, at 10-5. Wildcats up 5. Ball up for grabs, and the Wildcats trying to hang on, able to do so off the pass that was made by Roshan Baker. Another foul coming here against North. That's already going to be their 4th team foul.
Really getting in trouble here. You got to keep your hands clean. I mean, we're not even nearly to halftime, and you're getting in some serious trouble. This is free points you're giving to West, an opponent that has obviously come in here hot, is feeling very, very comfortable. You do not want to be giving them anything that they have not had to earn by going through your defense.
As the first free throw is good for Kendra Davis. Second foul against Sage Turner.
Looks like they're checking in some fresh personnel. Oshkosh North sending in number 3, Bree Gauthier, who was a starter. Stands at 5'10", give them a little bit of height down low. Hopefully they're able to box this out if the free throw banks off.
And it's one thing to commit a foul, another thing the quality of the foul. In this case for West, seems like every time the whistle is blown, it's either been an and one, or in this case, free throws being assessed. So they've gotten to the free throw line here to start. Not making their free throws per se. Another miss here. So 1 for 2 goes Davis, and the lead's at 6. Strong take, bucket waved off. Heck of a shot though by Brooke Elstead. Trying to get the and one, but the foul on the floor, which will be team foul 2 against West.
And that's an interesting call. I'm trying to kind of figure out, you got to figure out with these officiating crews how they're going to let you play, how aggressive they're going to let you be down here. Seemed like they kind of let one go on the last possession. Now they're blowing the whistle down here.
Davis picking up her first, but the game within the game, all part of the adjustments you make and how a game is going to be called, all plays into your game plan. A turnover will give West possession up 11-5. We have 12:01 left here in the first half.
And throwing it right into the stands there, not necessarily what you want to do, but West's defense really congregating in the middle of the court. One of the big defensive philosophies you always hear, do not give offense the middle of the court. You want to leave them on the elbows, these uncomfortable situations right here.
You see the active hands again. Elstead batted away after you had both Lieb along with Griffin trapping in the corner. That cannot be a fun feeling when you have the active hands of Nadia Griffin swiping at the ball when you have possession. She continues to stick her hand in the cookie jar, coming away with the takeaway as the Spartans looking to cut into the deficit. It's currently at 6. They've been able to hit some shots from the outside.
Nice screen there set by Bree Gauthier.
Elstead's high arcing 2 balls off the mark, but a reload and Elstead for 3. Rebound again for Wissink. Good hustle. Mentioned Wissink does everything for this team, according to their head coach, Jamie Engen. He said that Wissink, relentless work ethic, positive attitude. One of the leaders as a junior. Nice takeaway. Ball picked up by Kendra Davis. 6-point West lead. Approaching 11 minutes left here in the first half. Jumped in front 8-0. If you have to look back, as the ball knocked away from Ashley Fontaine, who's now one of the West 5. And Griffin knocked down the foul here against the Wildcats, which will be team foul number 3.
And so now West starting to get into a little bit of foul trouble. Almost looked to me like Griffin just kind of tripped her feet up, but might be a smart move to kind of get there and draw the foul for your team, give yourself some time to recover. Now you get the ball at half court, go down there for another offensive drive.
You'll see Fontaine putting her hands up as though, hey, I did absolutely nothing wrong, but the issue is she clipped Griffin on her way down the floor, and so the first personal against Ashley Fontaine, team foul 3.
Nice handles here shown by Griffin. Good top to the pass of the key. Gonna take a three.
It's off the mark for Griffin. 33% three-point shooter now. Annalise Hammonds who's back into the game, but knocked away from the backside by Wissink. Stays here with West.
Nice effort there by Brie Gauthier. I appreciate her effort, but she wound up knocking the ball, trying to keep it inbounds, giving it right to West. So if you're going to dive out of bounds, you better make sure somebody is wide open, because now the Wildcats are going to have a possession down here.
That was Slothauer on the inbound. Taking the scenic route, the left-hander. Too strong off the backboard for Kaminsky. And again, the ball's out of bounds off and North. Inside, you had Haley Mraz, who got the last touch.
At this rate, the coach is going to start running short on inbound plays.
Yeah, no kidding, right? A lot of deflections here in this first half. Absolutely right about that with all the active hands on this defensive side for North. A lot of three-ball attempts, too, in this game.
Yeah.
Again, Griffin finds herself in a spot where she puts West in an awkward position. And again, one of the players tumbling over Griffin and committing a foul.
And they knock into Griffin on the exact same spot on the court where they fouled her on the last possession. So, Griffin is all fine and dandy to just take that, let West keep banking into her. We'll see what exactly happened here. Yeah, looked like that was number 20, Mia Schlotthauer, the small forward, standing at 5'10", just barreled into Griffin, who's only 5'4", knocking her down on the court.
That's her first in team foul for. And again, you see all of the active hands. You see all the moving pieces. Nothing has been easy for either one of these teams, at least getting the ball in the paint.
Yeah, kind of a jump ball just thrown up there. That looked a little bit careless here. See if North is trying to check out, get some fresh legs in there as Nadia Griffin goes to the sideline.
Now for the Wildcats, this is one of the big concerns coming into this game, all about defense. But then taking care of the ball, rebounding. But defense right now, giving up about 62 points. Again, that's up from last year. They allowed about 56, part of a 2-21 season for the Wildcats. So looking to pick it up on the defensive side. The offense has improved. About 3 points more so far this season they're averaging. They also bring back a lot of experience, 9 and 12 on the roster, back from last year's team.
And that experience can help when you're playing an aggressive defense like this. Those junior and senior players will maintain their composure, keep their eyes down court. The younger players can sometimes panic. Look for your leaders to help out when a defense is getting in your face like this.
Well, Gauthier with a hard foul. She picks up what's going to be her second. That's probably an understatement, a hard foul. Drawing some oohs and ahs from the crowd. Just with the shoulder tackle of Kalista Roshan Baker.
A little bit of acting done there, partner, but that's all part of the game in basketball, and if somebody puts their hands on you, you got to make sure the official's going to see it.
You mean to tell me in basketball they act?
I've heard the term flop used. I'm not sure if you ever heard that, Matt.
Taking a page right off the soccer pitch as the handoff here to Roshan Baker. Three ball. And it's off of Abby Hammonds. Gonna have a substitution for the Wildcats. You're certainly right though, watching the replay. At least live, it looked like a much tougher, more vicious shoulder tackle. And as mentioned, watching the replay, able to sell it and get that second foul.
And unfortunately, the officials don't have the benefit of our replay screen. They're trying to do everything in real time, and it's kind of like a schoolyard fight. Sometimes it's just the person who throws the last punch or whoever gets seen on that. Sometimes tumbling to the ground, they'll just assume it was a push. They send Brooke Elstead to the line here, the guard, and she swishes it there. That's a nice shot.
She's been struggling for the free throw line this season, too, at about 55%. Foul against Lauren Olenek, who was subbed in, the 5'7" junior, picking up her first. Both teams currently have 5 team fouls.
In a game like this where you've been struggling to get offensive points, getting them from the free throw line can be really important because you don't have to challenge anybody for them. Nice job capitalizing on the first one, but they're going to need to get a little bit better on that.
It stays 11-6 West. Roshan Baker short. Roshan Baker off the window.
And really nice second effort there by Kalista Roshan Baker at 5'7", stand in there, get her own rebound, put it right back up. Short memory, is able to get herself on the board now, and it's 13-6 for the Wildcats.
As we approach 9 minutes left here in the first half, ball knocked away on the dive. Again, we talk about hustle. In this case, the dive by Abby Hammonds able to result in yet another jump ball with the arrow, this time favoring North. You talk about inbound plays, but how about the possession arrow too, and being the operator for the possession arrow? They've been busy flipping that thing back and forth.
Yeah, there's been a lot of hustle back and forth. This has been, for a low-scoring game, it's been kind of fast-paced. It's interesting, just not capitalizing offensively, but these teams have certainly been sprinting the court so far.
Well, a great opportunity here, and we talk about both of these teams and their struggles at 0-5, and both coaches feel like they're closing in on it, picking up that first victory as ball taken away by Griffin. You wonder what a game like this, if you can put this one on the win count, will do for the duration of your season. Certainly from a confidence standpoint, it gives you the belief that you can now compete and win games, as the left-hander by Brooke Elstead brings the Spartans back to within 5 at 13-8.
And an emotional standpoint, Matt, it's not just the one win in the column, but who it came against. These rivalry games are so big from a morale standpoint. Some coaches will tell you, I don't care if we beat another team all year as long as we beat either West or North.
Roshan Baker off the mark, but the putback, that comes up short for Abby Hammonds. And you're right about the importance of this game from a bragging rights standpoint. It's your rival. And think about this too, it's an opportunity to put a complete game together, which has also been lacking for both of these programs.
Yeah, North especially has really had to struggle in the second half, and you know, along the way they've turned themselves into an excellent second half team, but the problem is that's because you're drilling yourself into kind of a hole there in the first half. You really want to avoid doing that. If you can come out, start hot, which they were not able to do here, they were down 8-0 at one point, then you don't have to have those miraculous comebacks in the third and fourth quarter.
Well, it's 13-8, Wildcats up by 5. Roshan Baker, she has 4 points.
Absolutely drilled that, and that was off kind of a half screen there from Megan Kaminsky. Not exactly getting in there on a screen, but just sort of getting in the way, gets Callista Roshan Baker enough that she's got a wide open shot, and she's able to capitalize big time.
You're always hoping that somebody makes that step, takes that step between freshman and sophomore year, makes progress. As Harmon, nothing but net. But in the case of Roshan Baker, she's done that, nearly doubling her points per game average so far in year number 2 at the varsity level. 7:04 left here in the first half of play. It's a 15-10 lead. Wildcats have the lead. Timeout being taken by the Spartans as we continue here from Oshkosh West High School.
And it's going to be an interesting kind of matchup to watch here from Roshan Baker because, as you said, she is a much younger player. It's kind of, you're going to wonder if she's able to maintain her composure in a game like this, a tight one, a rivalry one. She has looked great so far when she has an open shot, as she did on that last possession. I
have to believe right now for the Spartans, the timeout being taken here to address the defensive side. You're starting to figure some things out offensively, but now you have to make some stops, continuing to cut into this deficit, which is currently at 5 points. But you see Roshan Baker off her own miss, able to follow through using glass.
Yeah, and at 13-6, I'm sure North was a little bit worried about letting this one get away from him. But now at this point, you call a timeout. You say, okay, we're within striking distance. Let's be smart. Go with the high percentage shots, get some points, get ourselves back into this thing. You do not want to be struggling down 20 in the second half here.
And we've seen a couple of those nifty moves on the North offensive side. First, you saw the one layup, and then the other by Harmon. But Elstead had the first. And you look for the Spartans, that hasn't always been there in this first half, the paint quality touches or the drives, but they've been able to make something, zigzagging around this defense and throwing it up there, and they've had some luck as that ball's been able to fall on nothing but net. Now a turnover off the inbound for the Wildcats.
And not able to jump on the ball there out of bounds. I thought for sure maybe number 40, Aaliyah Harmon, would be able to grab that before it went out, but she's just fine because that's off West. Now they have the inbound pass here. Let's see if they do well when they've got a second to set something up. Passing around, trying to find an open shot.
Griffin from Turner. Wissink. 6:45 left here in the first half. Glad to be along for a Battle of Oshkosh. One of these teams will pick up victory number 1, both off the 0-5, beginnings 0-3 in the Fox Valley Association, tied for 9th and last. Spartans continuing to chip away at the deficit, and Harmon now with 6 points.
Harmon able to drive there through a really tough defensive job. There were a lot of hands there on the ball, but she's able to go up strong and finish.
Too strong, Abby Hammonds.
And here we see that transition defense for West. Can they get back in time?
Elstead.
Gonna call her for steps.
Yep, unable to recover. Already, Harmon is above her points per game average. Her average is 5.4 a game. She has scored 6. She's been a presence on the inside, the 5'9" freshman, one of 3 freshmen for head coach Jamie Engen. He brought back 5 with, at least active, 5 with previous varsity experience. He was hoping to have 7. A couple of starters as well that are, again, active. Was hoping to have 4 out of the 5 back in uniform from a team that last year won 11 games. It lost in a regional final against Appleton North, who would go on and bring home a Division I state championship in knocking off De Pere.
Yeah, and against Appleton North, I mean, you don't want to use the phrase good loss in the playoffs, but it's certainly an understandable one. And I really think after finishing that well last year, there's no way they thought that this would be the way their season would start, down 0-5 after the first couple of games.
Appleton North still the #1 team in the Division I state rankings. Griffin launching it. Harmon, 3-point game. Won't stay down for Lieb. Rebound here for Callista Roshan Baker.
Bounced out of the hands of Sage Turner on the rebound there. Thought she might be able to grab it, and here she does. Beautiful job recovering on defense.
And with the quick hands now, Wissink all the way to the bucket, too strong. Put back, no but a foul, and free throws to be assessed off the putback attempt by Harmon.
There's an interesting decision there by Wissink, because you see sometimes people on the fast break, when you got a defender coming that way to you, sometimes you get the quick pass out to the person on your left. There she decided to take it up herself. Not able to make the basket, but still able to draw a shooting foul, and that's always a good thing.
Second foul against Kendra Davis. Team foul 6. Harmon, a 40% free throw shooter. As a team, the Spartans at 64%. As a substitution brings Annalise Hammonds back in, but you see the drive, even with contact. Wissink a little bit too strong, but nice putback attempt by Harmon, drawing the contact, and now being rewarded with these free throws, which she goes 1 for 2.
And this is exactly what North needs to get back in these games. When you have the opportunity for free points, get it. Now they've got themselves within 2 here, as they're down just 15-13 with about 5.5 minutes left here in this first half.
Fell behind 8-0 and have been looking to play comeback ever since. Annalise Hammonds lost it, recovered. Roshan Baker picked off by Griffin.
And this is what we were talking about in the beginning of the game, partner. Nadia Griffin able to do so well off transitions. Coming up short on the wing 3 there was Ashley Wissink.
Roshan Baker and the Wildcats have a 3-on-2, but Griffin getting back defensively. Count the bucket plus the foul.
That's an and one, and wow, the pace has really picked up here the last couple of possessions for both teams.
Which at least coming into the matchup you think would favor North. They were looking to pick up the tempo. But West has been right there with them in this race up and down the floor. But what a move. The contact by Nadia Griffin, her second. Both teams now with 6 team fouls. Roshan Baker, who has scored 6, now has 7.
Beautiful shot there, absolutely nothing but net. Really, really nice job so far from Roshan Baker. As we said, a young player with a lot on her shoulders, but they're fine letting the offense run through her, and she is absolutely giving them a reason to. She's been really nice so far tonight when she has an open shot.
And she becomes even more important. 3 ball here for Lieb, but even more important with the injury to McNulty, the #2 scorer on this team, and that's about 8 to 9 points that you're missing here tonight. And so can Roshan Baker step it up even more so? Can others help take some of the scoring load? We'll have to wait and see. But there's Annalise Hammonds, who is the replacement for McNulty in the starting 5. She has scored 2 points so far, and now it's Elstead with the fast break right-hand layup.
And Hammonds trying desperately to get back after her shot kind of airballed, but she was the reason West had that possession in the first place. She jumped on it when North was down there.
Fine job by Harmon defensively, cutting off the path on that far sideline and forcing the turnover. 3-point game, 18-15. Wildcats have led throughout this first half. That still has 4:28 remaining.
And it looks like they're going to have Ashley Wissink bringing it up the court here, as they've got Nadia Griffin out right now. So they switch up their guard play a little bit, see how she runs the offense, maybe a little bit different than 24.
Watching Gauthier cut inside Harmon. This is going to be a 3-ball. A 3-ball. And Elstead ties the game at 18.
And this could be a big swing for North, trying to get it downfield, but that one incomplete, looking for Ashley Wissink.
Over with Hammonds. Cross court. Roshan Baker on the 3-ball miss. Note that Laura Kershane is into the game for the Wildcats.
And a lot of discussion here about whose penalties on who. The West crowd very happy as that one goes against North. Looks like West will retain possession here.
Yeah, travel against the Spartans. Wildcats will bring Lauren Olenek back in. Annalise Hammonds also back into the floor. Both of these teams going deep, and both are active when it comes to lineup changes, keeping fresh legs out there. And for both, it's a 2-game week, a busy week after both were in action on Tuesday.
Yeah, of course, just a couple days to recover here. And as you said, fresh legs can be so beneficial. Sometimes you got a player out there getting frustrated, getting sore. It can be good for both parties. Number one, you get somebody coming in fresh and confident. And number two, you let the player who is just in go back, get a couple seconds to gather herself and get some water. That one off the backboard, clear. Looks like somebody came down hard on number 34, Annalise Hammonds.
It's going to be a bonus, too. It's team foul 7 off the third foul.
Yeah, in a game like this, especially with things tied right now and getting into bonus already, this could be one where free throws become really, really crucial. It could be who's doing better behind the charity stripe that winds up winning this game.
But the foul is against Gauthier. That's her third. She's the most experienced post for North. Annalise Hammonds cannot hit on the 1-and-1, won't get another on the rebound, hauled in by Sage Turner.
Gonna roll out. Here's Ashley Wissink taking it back up the court, trying to set up her offense here.
As North looks for their first lead of the game. 3:08 to go in this first half. Another turnover, the ball deflection in the hands of Abby Hammonds.
Nice job by Hammonds stepping into the passing lane here, creating a possession for her team. Let's see if she can capitalize.
See in the background, Coach Engen telling his team, high hands. Roshan Baker. Now the push by Wissink.
Sean Baker really D'ing her up, getting her in her face, forces a mistake there, and now Annalise Hammonds with the ball.
Angles back in and uses glass.
And a beautiful job there. That play really created by Callista Rashawn Baker getting in the face of the North offense.
Coach Nikki Sutter said that Annalise Hammonds, very aggressive on both ends of the floor, will need to look to score more, and that's what they're hoping out of Hammonds. Her high this season to 6. That came against Kettle Moraine back on the 25th of November, but here she scores points 3 and 4 in this first half. Look at a score against this 1-3-1 that North throws at them.
And they're doing a really nice job so far on North. They've been passing the ball, moving it around, kind of trying to find the soft spots in that zone defense. The thing is, the big difference when you're playing against a zone, they're going to try to force you outside. Can you capitalize on perimeter shooting? And it really seems so far like West, if Callista Rashawn Baker has been open, has been able to get up open on those shots. So a lot of it might be coming down to if they can use screens more to get her a little bit more space and breathing room on the shots there.
Wissink able to hit both free throws. The foul going against Annalise Hammonds, her second. Both teams now have 17 fouls.
All tied up at 20.
Yep. So this being the second tie now of the game. Following again, 8-0 start for Oshkosh West. North is yet the lead. As both teams search for victory one, both teams coming with a 6-game losing streak dating back to last year.
And looks like Hammonds and Callista Rashawn Baker trying to overload the top of this 1-3-1 zone defense, and that's kind of the danger you put yourself in with a set like this. The 2-3 is a little bit less vulnerable to that, but when it's 2-on-1 and you're a defender, you really need to kind of choose, and it's like running the option. There's no right answer.
Well, in this case, no option for Schlotthauer. Throws it away. And Nadia Griffin back out there at the point.
Nadia Griffin back in the game. So let's see really what the difference is between her and Wissink and effectiveness in setting up the offense. Wissink had them on kind of a nice run here on the elbow. Not able to make it. 3, and
Roshan Baker hauls in the rebound. And with Griffin, she's not known as a scorer. She's simply a facilitator, and she's awfully good with the active hands defensively. Another turnover against the Wildcats. This has been a first half that has seen both teams with their fair share of miscues.
Yeah, in a typical offense, you see kind of 2 point guard roles. You've got the big scorer, the star, the person who will take 3-point, almost close to a shooting guard. And it seems like Griffin is more of the traditional role, kind of a distributor, getting the ball out and trying to set up the offense.
Sage Turner finds Griffin from 15.
Basically a free throw there, but she's not able to make that.
How many times have we seen this, though? Wissink running after the rebound, keeping the possession alive.
Really a high motor player. See if she can drill this 3, and she knocks it down. Beautiful job from Ashley Wissink. The guard keeps that one alive and is able to go here. Oh, now she's trying to press up on number 32. That's Lauren Olenek.
Griffin knocks it out of bounds. First lead of the game, though, for North at 23-20 with 65 seconds till halftime.
And the body language for North really starting to change. They were looking a little bit of the slumped shoulders kind of when they were down 8-0 in this game, but now a little bit high fives going back and forth. The confidence seems to be rising as they are on top for the first time, 23-20.
Already 8 points for Wissink. Leads the attack for the Spartans, along with Harmon, who has been able to score 7. Her high is 11.
They're leaving Lauren Olenek wide open here, and she gets the ball, dishes it out quick.
And that 2-ball splashing in for Mia Schlotthauer, who has 4 points.
Beautiful job by Olenek to find her open teammate for a nice shot. Schlotthauer able to capitalize. At 5'10", she's able to shoot like a guard, but play down low in the post as well.
Active in a steal for Roshan Baker. Averaging over 2 steals a game. Got it ahead to Hammonds, who's fouled. She's going to be rewarded now with some free throws, taking it strong against Wissink.
Nice job there by Callista Rashawn Baker. Aggressive play on defense, and I mean, her motor is really running out there. She has been doing everything for this West team, offensively, defensively, and she doesn't look tired at all.
Not at all, as Wissink picks up her first 8th on the team.
If that ball was just a little bit more in front of Abby Hammonds, you wonder if that might have been an and one. She kind of had to reach for it, go up, down low. That was a really tough layup to make with 2 defenders in her face, but trying to capitalize now from behind the free throw line.
Lieb back into the Spartans 5. Abby Hammonds, who's tied for 3rd on the team, is scoring with her first point, looking for number 2 here. 24-23. Wildcats back up by 1. 29.7 seconds left in the first half. Do the Spartans elect to hold for one final shot? Do they? Well, they're going to turn it over instead. Jump pass. That was picked off, and on top of things, a foul committed in the bonus. And so the Wildcats are walking the length of the floor for free throws.
And 18 seconds left, especially when you're in bonus, you really want to keep your hands clean. This is a very tight game, because that could be the difference between going to the locker room at halftime up or down 1 point, or up or down 3 or 4 points.
We'll get another. Kaminsky.
Oshkosh North going to want to crash the glass here the second this hits the backboard, see if they can get more points before this half ends. They got 18 seconds on the dot right here once they inbound.
Off the foul against Lieb, so a couple of free throws made. 26-23 Wildcats.
Brooke Elstead trying to find somebody for a wide open shot, maybe hit a 3 here, tie it up.
8 seconds left here in the first half. Ball was lost by Brooke Elstead. Wildcats basketball with 6.2 seconds till halftime.
If you're the coach here for West, do you just kind of go down there, try to throw one up, or are you more concerned about just maintaining possession here on the inbound play, not giving up anything down low to this press?
Well, instead you have Schlotthauer, who's open. On the pass, deflected.
Throw it up.
Kaminsky's got to put it up, and SU is going up. She gets tied up. Elstead able to tie her up, arrow favoring West. They have 0.3 seconds here. Puts a 3-point game. You see the attempt. Realizing the clock situation, Elstead stayed on her feet at 5'6", going against 5'10" Kaminsky.
It's a tall order there, and yeah, with 0.3 seconds left, not enough time to inbound and get one there. So go to half of the Wildcats on top 3.
Yeah, 26-23 in favor of Oshkosh West. They pretty much led throughout that first half. Both teams looking for victory number 1 as we continue at halftime here from Oshkosh West High School.
Experience Deck the Halls at the Oshkosh Public Museum. See the historic Sawyer home decorated in its holiday splendor. The life-size Christmas Village exhibit showcases a festive display of recreated scenes from favorite holiday movies. And at the center of it all is an elaborate handmade wooden toy circus. Now through December 31st, kids admission is free and adults only $3.50. Deck the Halls, a holiday experience at the Oshkosh Public Museum. Discover more at oshkoshmuseum.org.
Oshkosh Media is government programming on GovTV, community programming on Life TV, community radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9 WOCT, online at oshkoshmedia.org, YouTube, and Facebook.
And fade it.
26-23, a 3-point lead for Oshkosh West Girls High School basketball here on Oshkosh Media. And Oshkosh Media produces a lot of municipal content in the community, and now let's take a look at some of their recent projects.
Explore the riches of prehistoric and early life. that spans 13,000 years in the new People of the Waters exhibition at the Oshkosh Public Museum. Discover how the Ice Age transformed the landscape. Experience living in a full-size recreated longhouse. Uncover the past and learn the secrets of the fur trade. People of the Waters, a new interactive exhibition at the Oshkosh Public Museum. Discover more at oshkoshmuseum.org.
Do you ever wonder if you have enough working smoke alarms in your house? Well, the Oshkosh Fire Department has a program to make sure that you do. The program is called Project Safe, and that's smoke alarms for everyone. And what that does is we will come into your house, we will check to make sure you have working smoke alarms on every level of your home. That is the bare minimum. You should have one on every single level of your home, including the basement. And if you do not, we will install them for you free of charge. Or if you have detectors and just not working batteries, we will also replace the batteries free of charge. The detectors we use to replace yours are these detectors right here. They have a 10-year battery, and that means that these will work for 10 years. That is considered a disposable smoke detector, because smoke detectors last about 10 years. So if yours are older than 10 years, you should pitch them and get some new ones as well. Give me a call at 236-5249, and we can make an appointment, and I will come in and make sure that you have the right amount of detectors, that they are working, and if not, I'll replace them for you right there on the spot. It doesn't take much time. It's about a 15-minute deal. We're in, we're out. Just remember that working smoke detectors are your best chance of saving a life in a fire. Your family's safety is in your hands. Take the time, give us a call, and once a month, test your alarm, make sure that it's working, and stay safe.
Hi, I'm Margie Davey, Chair of the Sustainability Advisory Board. The Sustainability Advisory Board exists to advise the City Manager and Common Council on sustainability issues that affect municipal operations and the community. Since sustainable practices literally involve every aspect of our city and community, we strive to work with municipal departments like Public Works, Transportation, and Parks. We collaborated with the city to build the energy-efficient field operations facility to reduce our carbon footprint. We encourage native plantings and green spaces to protect our water and reduce maintenance costs, and planting terrace trees to beautify Oshkosh while creating clean air. Our board created and maintains the Sustainability Plan for Oshkosh, which provides a roadmap for the city to become a more sustainable environment. From simple practices like switching to low-energy lighting and low-flow toilets in municipal buildings, to the creation of roundabouts and stormwater detention basins, Oshkosh is becoming a more sustainable and resilient community. Our board is consistently engaging with the Oshkosh community on the importance of sustainable practices, such as urban chicken and beekeeping, rain barrel use, wise energy use, and more. The Sustainability Advisory Board and the many other boards and committees who serve the city of Oshkosh are an extremely important part of our local government and community. We encourage you to consider serving on a city board or commission to help make Oshkosh a great place to live, work, and play.
Hi, I'm Jim Michelson, Chairman of the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee. The Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee is made up of 7 resident representatives from the city of Oshkosh. We strive to promote and encourage safe bicycle and walking as significant means of transportation in the city of Oshkosh. Our committee goals involve working towards the development of a coordinated system of safe and convenient bikeways and walkways and stimulation of public awareness through educational events. Our committee is tasked with reviewing and updating the bicycle and pedestrian circulation plan and recommend projects for funding through the city's capital improvement plan. We aim to make Oshkosh a bike and pedestrian friendly city and are making strides in protecting and growing the biking and walking population. The Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee and many other boards and committees who serve the city of Oshkosh are an extremely important part of our local government and community. We encourage you to consider serving on a city board or commission to help make Oshkosh a great place to live, work, and play.
When the sky turns gray, rain becomes ice, and temperatures continue to drop, you'll ask yourself, how prepared or unprepared are you? Did you winterize your home? Remove the leaves from the gutters? Insulate and caulk so you're less likely to shutter? Does everyone in the family know the winter weather plan? What to do, where to stay, and how to get in touch? Are your emergency kits ready? Is your radio on? Once the snow and ice starts and the temperature drops, stay where you are. Bring Fido in. If the power lines snap, you've got to stay warm. Dress in layers. Wear mittens and a hat. Do what you have to do. But never, ever do that. If for some reason you get stuck on the road, make sure you're prepared. Know what to do if this happens to you. After the storm has passed and the roads are safe, restock your emergency kits. Another storm could be on its way, so before the sky turns gray, rain becomes ice, and temperatures continue to drop, get prepared, make a plan, and figure out how you're going to stay safe and warm. America's Prepare-a-thon. Be smart, take part, prepare.
And you are back.
Matt Mendel alongside Nick Bodie back at Oshkosh West High School. We're at the break in girls hoops. It's a 26-23 lead for the hosting Wildcats on the North Spartans. Let's check out some of the first half highlights in the game that would see Oshkosh West jump in front 8-0. They set the tone. It wasn't until 18-all that the Spartans were able to get themselves right back in this game. Had a one lead at 23-20, but then West able to end the first half on a high.
And here we see Oshkosh North capitalizing on some outside shots. West has really taken away the middle of the court. They're going to force you to shoot from the perimeter. That's going to be the key for the Spartans here if they want to come away with a W against the Wildcats.
See the putback by Roshan Baker. She has scored 7 points. That's currently tops for the Wildcats. See the drive by Brooke Elstead. She's been able to come through with 8 points. Ashley Wissink has scored 8-7 for Harmon, leading the Spartans offense. But you see the range there by Roshan Baker. Megan Kaminsky also added 6. Here's a drive by Harmon using the left hand. She has scored in double figures on one separate occasion, but you see leaking out, catching the ball and scoring Brooke Elstead. She's had no fear in attacking the bucket.
Yeah, a lot of quick transition scoring here, and Brooke Elstead certainly somebody that's able to move laterally very well and get down the court well. So I think they're going to need the guards, Brooke Elstead and Ashley Wissink, to kind of get it done, do a lot of their shooting, mid-range, outside stuff. As we said, they're not really going to let you, the Wildcats are not going to let you drive the middle of the lane here.
That three ball by Wissink at the time, giving North their lead of 23-20. And it's kind of funny because we look at the way this game is played. We talk all about the interior defense, not allowing a lot of points in the paint, yet a lot of points off turnovers, and then on occasion a couple of three balls knocked down by the Spartans. But that's been the name of the game, has been the transition buckets, but also free throw shooting. At least both teams have gotten their fair share of free throw attempts, not necessarily making those free throws.
Well, absolutely, partner. I mean, a lot of fouls committed on in this game, and in a game where the matchup is really tight now, which we weren't sure it would be in the entire first half, how you can do from the free throw line could really be the difference between winning and losing in a game like this.
Who gets victory number one? The second half comes your way next. It's 26-23. West on top of North. Girls high school basketball from Oshkosh Media.
Hi, I'm Jim Collins, Transportation Director for the City of Oshkosh with an important message for motorists and bicyclists. Recently, the city has begun painting bike Sharrow symbols on roadways. The term Sharrow is short form for shared lane bicycle marking. Sharrows are made up of bicycle and chevron symbols, and they are located about 4 feet away from the curb where parking is not allowed and about 11 feet where it is. Streets with Sharrows do not have a designated bike lane, but still indicate that the roadway segment is a bike route and is expected to be used by bicyclists. Sharrow markings are used to show motorists where cyclists will be traveling within the lane, while also showing cyclists proper lane positioning, especially where lanes are too narrow to be safely shared. It's important to note that with or without marked Sharrows, bicyclists are encouraged to travel on streets and follow traffic laws just as any other vehicle on the road. Motorists are urged to continue to be aware of bicyclists and to share the road. Thank you for keeping Oshkosh safe and happy riding.
Back at Oshkosh West High School, halftime winding down. It's a 3-point lead for the West Wildcats on top of the North Spartans. Fans of all ages getting treated to some good basketball here in this battle for Oshkosh. Bragging rights in a battle for victory number 1. For the Spartans, they've gotten some great contributions already from Wissink, Elstead, and by Harmon. We'll see what adjustments they make as they've been pretty much playing from behind throughout thus far. But there is Wissink, team's top scorer. Been able to knock in a couple of tough shots. But she has done a lot, not only when it comes to shooting, but also keeping possessions alive and tracking down some loose basketballs.
Yeah, she's a very high motor player, really good defender, able to kind of keep her hands high, but also flash them down low, get in the way of the passing lane. Wissink really going to be a key player if North wants to come away with a victory against their rival here in this packed Oshkosh West Fieldhouse. These fans have come out for a big-time rivalry game in the Fox Valley.
White out for the Wildcat faithful. A blackout for the Spartans faithful.
Brooke Elstead screaming for the ball down low there.
Griffin, again, she's the facilitator. Elstead, nice start.
Really nice job from Elstead, able to work through some foot traffic there. Almost gets the inbound pass, but Megan Kaminsky at 5'10", able to outmuscle her there for the ball.
Elstead, the first player in this game in double figures. She is in double figures for the 5th time now. This game 6. 26-25 Wildcats.
Speaking of leading scorers, here's Callista Rashawn Baker, number 14, has been everything for Oshkosh West on both sides of the ball. They're going to need another big half out of her. She can't bury the 3 here to start off their first possession.
How about that save, though, by Annalise Hammonds?
Wow, what a nice effort there from the Wildcats, and the fans in there in white are all fired up.
Able to keep the possession alive after she went for the save. Making the improbable save, deflecting it off the knees of an unsuspecting Spartan. Annalise Hammonds, aggressive. Can't get the friendly roll on the rebound for Elstead.
That's really tough going in muscling. You're going hard, 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 and then you got to get that touch on the ball to roll it in. Little too much mustard on that one for number 34, Annalise Hammonds.
Rashawn Baker, after Elstead dribbled right in to the defense. Arrow favoring the Wildcats. They lead by 1 with 16:51 to go here in this second half.
And Elstead and Rashawn Baker kind of mirror images of each other here, the way they play. We see them matched up one-on-one right now. Battle of 2 high-energy guards who can do a lot for their teams on both sides of the ball.
Nothing new for Rashawn Baker. Typically defends against the other team's top player, one of their top scorers.
They're really lagging off Rashawn Baker on the wing there. Thought they might flash it out to her, but no need. West capitalized on another nice outside shot there.
Abby Hammond's first field goal makes. She has 4 points along with a couple of free throw makes. 28-25 Wildcats. 16:20 on the second half game clock. For the Wildcats, they've lost 6 straight. Their last win came last year at Kaukauna, February the 16th to be exact. For the Spartans, they've lost 6 straight. Their last victory, February 24th, the WIAA regional semifinal against Appleton East.
Beautiful shot laid in there. That looked like number 3, Bree Gauthier.
Her first points of the game. She's playing with 3 personal fouls. But Gauthier, 3rd on the team in scoring. Team number is down a little bit, but is coming off a season-high 11-point showing on Tuesday against Hortonville.
Nice job there by Brooke Elstead, coming up in defense but keeping her hands clean, and now looks like number 22, Emma Lieb, came away with the ball.
They got tied up. Arrow favoring North. 15:42 to go. It's a 1-point game.
Passing into Nadia Griffin here. She was doing some dancing before it came back from half. I think she was hitting the nene down there in the court.
Ooh.
Does it better than I can, and her jump shot is sure prettier than mine.
I'll tell you, North now with an opportunity to take their, I don't even want to touch that comment, but they're about looking to take their first lead since 23-20.
I think the difference is in the second half, North dancing around on the court a little bit. The body language looks a lot looser. They're not tight. They're comfortable in the second half. They feel they're a second half team. They've had some nice comebacks here. Looked like they were pressing early in the first quarter, but as it came on, as they tied things up, a lot of high-fiving, some smiles coming out. So I think they're feeling a little bit loose in a hostile gym right now.
That's a deep 3 that nearly clunked for Wissink. 1 or 2, you talk about mindsets. How about the Wildcats mindset? Because an oddity for them, through 5 games, they'll make it 6. But playing with a halftime lead.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of the tale of 2 teams right now. You know, one team that can't finish and one team that can go on a 16-0 run and still wind up losing the game. So going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. It's been pretty much to script so far. West started off real hot, and now North trying to close things out.
The Wildcats scoring That's high and over the reach Schlothauer, but scoring 8 more points than they typically average in a first half. Yet have a 1-point lead. They've been outscored 4-2 so far in this second half. That is 14:55 remaining. Lieb, another turnover.
And they're happy to just let that one roll out of bounds as West. They will try to retake possession here.
Inbound coming up for Abby Hammonds. The gym is filled in nicely. Not many seats, if any, to be had here. A doubleheader of hoops. North against West. A couple of teams looking for victory number 1 in this one. In the boys' game, a couple of teams looking to avoid loss number 1.
We got a great Oshkosh doubleheader here, partner. These are big time games from the Fox Valley Association Conference.
Well, Davis, Schlothauer, and Kaminsky gets tied up. Another jump ball.
A lot of hands down there. They were trying to get the pass into Kaminsky, but she had about 3 defenders around there, not able to hold on, even with her size. 5'10", one of the tallest players on West's team.
That's at least 3 tie-ups in this second half alone after a handful in the first half. Again, active hands, active here against Davis. Ball is ripped away by Gauthier. Lead feed, and Wissink scores it, plus the foul.
What a nice job there from Nadia Griffin to go down there and find Ashley Wissink standing there, the low post, and they're high-fiving each other. That was a really nice job, and now she gets to add on to this with some free throws.
How about the throw from Griffin? Wissink had the angle. First foul against Abby Hammonds. Team foul number 1 here in the second half. 10 points now for Wissink. She's in double figures for the 5th time in this game 6.
And the Spartans taking this opportunity to check in some fresh legs. That's number 40, Aaliyah Harmon, standing at 5'9", checking in there. She'll be down low trying to get the rebound for her teammate if this one sails wide. It does not.
So 11 points now for Wissink.
Spartans starting to press up now.
They have the 30-28 lead. Knocked by Harmon, recovered by Gauthier. Off the takeaway for the Spartans. Lead feed again to Wissink, but this time leaping up to deflect the pass, yet Roshan Baker.
And Aaliyah Harmon comes in with the fresh legs, but it's her arms that make the difference. Standing there, her tall frame, able to knock that one back. And now the Spartans trying to press here, get some more points on the board.
Biggest lead for the Spartans has been 3. I'll tell you, Griffin was able to develop a shot. She's had some open looks, but again, that's the defense realizing that she's going to look to pass first, score second.
Yeah, she's more of a distributor point guard, and really they keep her on the court for her defense. Her best offensive plays have come off of wide open plays and especially in transition. Missed shot there, but recovery. Griffin with the ball in her hands again.
That was Gauthier keeping the attack alive. Wissink, though, getting the spacing. Nice zip of a pass. Gauthier takes one dribble, gets fouled. Coming across, Kaminsky picking up personal foul number 1, team foul 2.
Boy, that was an absolute rocket there from Ashley Wissink. She looked like Aaron Rodgers just firing that one down to the post.
A healthy.
Healthy Aaron Rodgers.
Specify.
Yeah, let's hope nothing happens to her collarbone. That was beautiful pass there. Not able to get points, but draws the fouls, and that's just about as good as Megan Kaminsky, number 52, got a little handsy there.
But now you got to make your free throws, and that's been an obstacle so far in this game for both sides. Gauthier, about a 58% free throw shooter. Goes 1 for 2.
And the Spartans up here trying to press again. Now we saw this backfire for them because they've got good distributing point guards from West, able to fire it up where there are no people, as we saw right there. So if you're going to press up, you better make sure you have somebody there to guard the deep ball.
Another 2 points for Abby Hammonds. 31-30. Spartans up by 1.
They're moving Wissink all around. I think they're really trying to get an open shot for her.
Griffin, put back. Oh, seen Gauthier pretty active on the inside, keeping the possession alive now once, but now twice. And that ball is going to be thrown out of bounds by Annalise Hammonds, trying to connect with Roshan Baker here in the corner.
And Wissink gets in Hammonds' face and forces an errant pass. That one out of bounds. And now the West has to go back on defense. Looks like they will check out Callista Roshan Baker. She's taking a rare moment of rest here. Number 14
You're right about that.
Doing it all for the Wildcats. See, they sub in for her.
A very rare break with Olenek into the lineup for the Wildcats. Harmon, speaking of non-breathers, Wissink has logged her minutes as well. With the left hand, ring around. It won't stay down for Elstead. And it belongs to the Wildcats, who trail by 1 at 31-30 with 12:35 to go in this second half.
A lot of contact down there on Brooke Elstead. I thought she was going to roll that one in for sure. As we said, when you're getting banged around like a pinball down there, sometimes it can be tough to get the right touch on the ball there. That one just rolls out. Now the Spartans going to have to get back on D.
Hammonds on the bounce pass to Abby Hammonds.
And these Spartan defenders so active. The feet, the arms, they're moving all over the court. They force another great turnover here. Really, really clear that North focuses on defense a lot in their practice.
Harmon's got the spacing.
Oh, comes up. And these are the outside perimeter shots. If you get a three that wide open, you have time to set your feet. Your coach is going to expect you to make that about 80% of the time. You really got to hit those outside shots against a West defense that's not going to give up the middle of the court.
North shooting about 29% from three-point range.
Spartans already down here challenging the inbound pass. They're going to get in Callista Rashawn Baker's face. Baker trying to hit it deep again.
Tipped, knocked out by Wissink.
And that's going to go out of bounds on Wissink.
It's amazing to me in this game that any long-distance pass is even connected with how, again, active both teams have been defensively. It's hard to connect the pass in this game.
Yeah, as we saw, I think you really need to have some absolute zip on it, as we saw with that pass from Wissink earlier on the opposite end of the court. You know, the windows are going to close very fast, so if you're going to pass, you need to be decisive, and you need to put some force on it. I mean, you got to have kind of a rocket arm if you want to sling that thing in there.
Team changes on both sides.
And so now we see the stack inbound play. We saw a ton of inbound plays in the first half, partner, but this is kind of the first one we've seen. See how they break out of it. Everyone's got their own variation on this classic.
Abby Hammonds back into the Wildcats lineup. You see Annalise Hammonds out of that stack, receiving the inbound.
Looks like they're trying to set up some screens with Kaminsky to get Callista Rashawn Baker free in space. Baker now at the top of the key, calling things out, setting up the offense. Driving.
Hammonds with long two ball. Sage Turner back into the game for North.
And that one almost straight up and down there from Kendra Davis, number 50. No contact with the rim there.
Inbound coming up for the Wildcats following the Spartans foul. It will be number 3 against Nadia Griffin.
And they'll stack it up again here, see if the Spartans are able to maybe intercept the inbound pass.
31-30 in favor of North. 11.5 to go. Got ourselves a good one here from West. Nice cut. The finish for Kendra Davis.
Beautiful job by Davis using that bank shot. She hit it perfectly. That top right corner, the little white box, it's always your friend. It'll tell you where to put it. And 2 points on the board there for the Wildcats here at home.
They have Davis for 7. Griffin.
Oh!
Look out.
She buries one. You were talking about developing that shot. I think she might have been working on something at half. Now she puts her team up 34-32 in a hostile environment here in this West gym.
Yeah, finally making the lack of defense pay. Nadia Griffin, a 33% three-point shooter. Averages about 4. Her high is 5. She's done that 3 times this season. Again, Leighton coming out defensively was Olenek. And Griffin making that lack of defense pay. It's a 34-32 Spartans lead.
This is what you have to do against West. If they're going to stack the middle, show them that you can hit the outside shots, and then you force them to play you honestly both ways. The lane will be open as well as the outside shots here. North trying to answer after the Wildcats tie things up at 34 all with about 10:30 left here in the third quarter.
Yeah, one of those, look at what I found for Kendra Davis. The ball came through the hands of Megan Kaminsky. Harmon. Lee battling for the board. It eventually is gobbled up by Davis.
West moving it quickly up here now, not letting North get the chance to set up their press.
Again, playing the Spartan style of ball. Roshan Baker, the triple.
Oh man, that was pretty. What a smooth action there, top of the key. That's a three-pointer that everyone's practiced a million times. You get one of those wide open in a game, you just kind of think to yourself, oh boy.
She's the first Wildcat in double figures. Her 5th 10-plus point performance in 6 tries.
No surprise there. Number 14 has been really instrumental for West. Looks like she might be the key to getting them a win here at home in this big-time rivalry game. Look at that shot. I mean, just drills through nothing but net. Swish.
So 10 points for Roshan Baker and a timeout here for North. 5 timeouts left for the Wildcats, 2 remaining for Coach Engen. We'll keep an eye on that total as this game goes along. Both teams have a couple of fouls against. We have 9:56 remaining. It's a 37-34 Wildcats leading. And to Coach Nikki Sutter's credit, her team, they, for the most part, have been the aggressor. They've been in the driver's seat. They've been playing with the lead. Every time it seems like the Spartans have been able to take a lead of some type, West has had a response.
Yeah, West has been really aggressive, but also North as well. North really pressing up, and I think they thought they were going to get a better results pressuring a young point guard like Callista Rashawn Baker, but she has not panicked at all. She's had ice water in the veins and has gotten the ball out, so it'll be interesting to see if the Spartans get out of trying to press here and just try to play a more traditional defense, meeting them at half court. And that one just off the rim from Brooke Elstead, number 10. Elstead now hustling back on defense.
Yeah, Kaminsky bringing the rebound. Abby Hammonds on the pass to Kaminsky.
Emma Lieb is all over the top of the key right now. She is in this front court's face.
Up with the drive and kick by Roshan Baker. A shot short for Hammonds.
Well, the wing three just banking off the side here, but those are the kind of shots that the Spartans want to force. Those outside threes are not shots they believe West is going to be able to make consistently.
Harmon has it roll off the rim. Right into the hands of Lieb. Trying to kick it back out on the bounce pass. Elstead finds it. Cannot get the bounce.
And the bounce pass, a dangerous thing to attempt there in that much foot traffic. See how we go on the fast break. That one looks like it's out of bounds on number 33. That is Becca Bree Gauthier.
Yeah, Gauthier knocking it away from Kershane, who now will inbound for West. They have the 3-point lead with 9:08 to go.
Spartans pressing up. Brooke Elstead really trying to force the issue and get a steal.
It's going to be a backcourt violation against the Wildcats. Will Sean Baker running it down. A substitution for West will bring Hammonds back in. Annalise Hammonds subbing back in. And a breather for Kendra Davis. She leaves with 9 points.
Annalise Hammonds had a pretty nice game so far, doing some things down low, also showing a little bit of outside shooting ability. Here she's trying to D up, not let this go to the middle lane. She does not look like she's going to let the Spartans drive this one to the hoop.
Elstead up and under.
Over the head. Wow, you don't see that too often.
12 points now for Brooke Elstead.
And Spartans still continuing to press down low. This is number 22, Emma Lieb. She's got really active feet, moves laterally really nice, and that's what you need if you're going to press up. Your defenders got to have high energy. They can't get tired, and they got to know to keep their arms up. So the arms up there, not able to stop the shot there for West. West answers, and the Wildcats now on top of the Spartans, 39-36 with 8 minutes left in the third quarter.
8 now for Kaminsky. We saw a second ago, and we'll see it here with Elstead. This is exactly what Coach Engen talked to us about this week. He said Brooke Elstead, fearless when attacking defenses. And remember, only a freshman.
Yeah, Brooke Elstead's certainly got a lot of basketball in front of her, but she's already showing really good flashes there. And as you said, I mean, just fearless. There she drove it into 3 Wildcat defenders and kind of got her feet a little bit tripped up, but it takes a lot of guts to attempt something like that. And, ooh, trying to keep it in bounds there was number 40, Aaliyah Harmon, that banks off a West defender.
And for the Spartans, they have to find ways to be aggressive. They have to find ways to attack the bucket. They have to be fearless because Coach Engen will admit, we're not real big. So at times it's tough to match up with size. Gauthier on the miss. And so sometimes they try to beat teams with pacing, but at other times, you, again, have to just take it right at them and hope for, if nothing else, the whistle may blow your direction.
Yeah, partner, I think in a rivalry game like this, especially an away game, you need to come out, you need to be aggressive. This is not a game where you can just play not to lose. You got to play to win. You got to try to force West to make some mistakes. They've certainly tried to go after the guards, specifically Callista Rashawn Baker, but, you know, number 14 has held up really well. I think they thought with her being a sophomore, they might be able to force some poor decisions, but she's been pretty sound, not committing a lot of turnovers so far in this game.
39-36, West up by 3, 7:50 to go. Again, all kinds of hands trying to knock that ball away. It's recovered by Annalise Hammonds.
Careful not to let it go over the half-court line. Nice recovery there by West.
Roshan Baker for 3.
My goodness, this girl is absolute money from downtown. Number 14 has just been raining three-pointers all night. I think that we're going to see the Spartans try to press the outside a little bit more, which is going to open things up in the middle there for the Wildcats. Might see number 34, Annalise Hammonds, actually benefit the most from Rashawn Baker's outside shooting prowess.
Now with a game high of 13, this 6-point lead, largest for the Wildcats at 8-0. Ball was batted out off Kershane.
Nice job there by Laura Kershane to just get her hand in that passing lane. Even if it goes out of bounds on you, just let the offense know, I'm here. You're not going to have an easy job trying to drive this one through me.
Kendra Davis back into the West lineup. 7:18 to go. Both teams playing for victory one, and for the Wildcats, their first win against North since.
And they get Ashley Wissink for a travel down here. It's going to be a turnover. The Wildcats have the ball.
The first win over North since February 27th of 2014. That was, with this game now included, 7+ meetings ago.
Brooke Elstead down there trying to force the issue on the full court press that the Spartans continue to go with. Oh, she get her hands on one? She did.
So Elstead with the steal. Going across the way.
Wide
Lead
open.
was open. Coming across does Wissink. Ball batted away from Griffin, who gets knocked down again. And she's been knocked down a few times. We've seen her get back up, and she's had a little ginger step. Bounce to that step of hers. Get knocked down a few times in this game, but finding ways to battle through.
Yeah, she's taken some shots as we see here, but she's very tough, manages to get back up, and this is why they love her on defense. You know, she stands 5'4", not the tallest player on the team, not even close, but really aggressive, and she can take some hits and get back up. That's what you need.
I think of both these teams credit though too for one thing, as Davis picks up her third team foul 4. Now it's going to pick up as this game gets down the stretch even closer and stays close, but the fouls. These teams have started to play more disciplined basketball where the fouls were coming regularly in that first half, and both teams were in the bonus early.
Yeah, and I think that again comes down to this being such a big rivalry game. Sometimes you come in here, the emotions are high, you sort of need a quarter to calm things down, and it's also like two heavyweight fighters kind of feeling each other out. You need to figure out what's this game going to be, what's the pace going to be like.
Kershane will quickly come back in for the Wildcats, replacing Abby Hammonds. We're down to 6:22 left in regulation. 42-36, Wildcats up by 6 after leading 26-23 at the break. Only a couple of deficits faced by West in this game.
West again guarding that middle of the lane here, so the Spartans might need to settle for an outside shot or drive it down the baseline, hit something to the low post.
Wissink. All of a sudden you have to keep a closer eye on Griffin after she hit a 3 earlier in this second half. Gauthier knocked away by Davis, recovered though.
Nice recovery by Elstead, trying to get something down low to the post, and there's 2 points on the board for the Spartans, 40-42.
Bree Gauthier with that bucket. So it's 42-38 after it was a 6-point game a second ago, and now ahead, the right hand and the foul for Kendra Davis. She's now in double figures. Have a game, Kendra Davis. Her previous high was 6 points. She's one of those players that has helped fill the void with the injury to Kirsten McNulty.
Able to add even more points to her line here. As we said, a big key in this game. She might be able to seal this one, ice it out, give herself a nice lead here, going into bonus on some free throws.
And that's 4 fouls on Nadia Griffin. So a big blow there from a facilitating standpoint, from a defensive mindset. She's being replaced, but the bucket following Gauthier scoring for North. West responding. 2 points, now a free throw that is good for Kendra Davis, completing the 3-point play. She has 12, lead is 7 at 45-38 with 5.5 to go.
Tough for Griffin to keep her hands clean there against Davis, who stands 5'9", but you do not want to be looking to foul out at the end of this game.
Elston bounced right off the defense. Tip
ball.
pass. Blocking foul against Gauthier, that's her 4th. So a couple of keys for the Spartans in serious foul trouble.
The Spartans, obviously their depth has been solid, but these are not players that you want to lose. Gauthier has been having a nice defensive game for you, and the same thing with Nadia Griffin. Her line has not necessarily been huge. She's hit a couple nice shots, but you could really lose a lot defensively, and here we are already down. These are not players you can afford to have fouling out. You need to keep your hands clean.
Both teams have 4 team fouls. Abby Hammonds, Davis. Can't get the roll. Davis looking for the loose ball, falls on top of it. She goes into a sitting position, gets tied up in a jump ball with Sage Turner in the arrow favoring the Wildcats.
And kind of getting tangled up there in the middle. Sage Turner looked like she thought she was able to rip that one away, but the Wildcats maintain possession, and they'll now go with a stack inbound play. They check in a fresh player here. Looks like number 20, Mia Schlotthauer.
Opportunity here for the Wildcats to take their largest lead of the game. And before the inbound, a timeout being taken by the Wildcats. They now have 4 remaining, so they have timeouts aplenty, and so this will be a 30-second timeout with 5:13 to go. But boy, if you're a Wildcat fan, you got to be pleased. Again, the Spartans came out, they threw that first punch to start this second half. They were able to take a lead, only for the Wildcats to come right back, and now they have been playing with the lead ever since, but doing it on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, the Wildcats really doing a nice job offensively and defensively, and now they've got the Spartans forced into some serious foul trouble. They got 2 players with 4 here with about 5 minutes left, so the Wildcats doing what they need to do to get the win here at home. It's going to be up to the Spartans now to come back and answer.
How about Roshan Baker? It's hit a couple of threes in this second half. The Spartans a little up and under from Brooke Elstead. She is one of their 2 players in double figures.
Yeah, she had a really nice job on that over-the-head shot. That's not necessarily a high percentage one, but when you have an instinctive guard like Brooke Elstead, she's got really solid moves. That's a play that just comes from feel. You've been able to hit that before, feel like you got the right touch on the ball. Even if you can't visually see it, able to drill that there. Elstead and Callista Rashawn Baker play a very similar type of basketball.
5:10 left in this one. Kaminsky over with Roshan Baker. And we've seen the continual switches to this lineup, and now has Abby Hammonds back out on the floor. Down goes Roshan Baker. 4-on-1 of the Spartans can connect on their passes, and we're going to have an offensive foul against Ashley Wissink. Charge was taken. You see high fives all around after the charge that was taken by Abby Hammonds.
That was a big-time charge, not a tough call from the official there at all. Nice job by Hammonds to set her feet, stay in there. She's tough as nails to sit in there and take for that one.
Oh, is that a tough break for the Spartans with a 4-on-1, cannot capitalize. Wissink picked up her second team foul 5.
Spartans trying to pick up a couple extra possessions here with that press defense.
Roshan Baker thinking twice before making the pass with Hammonds coming back toward the ball.
And Emma Lieb really trying to force the issue for this front court.
Roshan Baker.
A rare miss from the outside for Roshan Baker.
Especially in the second half as Wissink pushing the tempo. Harmon catching and missing with the left hand.
Oh.
Rebound batted out and controlled. Nice fake.
She step out of bounds there? No, kept her feet in, sets him here, and
Kershane
she's
coming
off
up
the
short,
rim.
but the putback. Roshan Baker.
And
That's 15.
This girl does absolutely everything. They're not just a shooter, not just a defender, but also there is a guard coming in there, getting the rebound for one of their bigger players, Kershane.
Timeout for North. Biggest lead of the game for the Wildcats at 9. It's 47-38 with 4:04 to go. Roshan Baker has scored 15. Her high is 20 this season, which came in game 2 against Kettle Moraine, but she's also had a 16-point performance on Tuesday, and before that, a week ago, she had a 19-point showing against the Nita Rockets, what was a 57-51 loss. But if you're the Spartans, you realize, okay, you're down to 4 minutes and 4 seconds. You now have 1 timeout remaining. It's do or lose time right now. You cannot afford many more empty possessions. And for the Spartans trying to find that go-to scorer, who's going to be that player to step up? Wissink and Elstead have been the go-to scorers, but all of a sudden they're being watched closely, forcing others to have to step up.
Absolutely. The Spartan defense really going to come out. They've got to play aggressive, but you got to be careful with your hands. You cannot afford to get any further foul trouble. And speaking of fouls, I mean, as clock ticks down, you got about a 10-point lead here. I think they're going to start having to foul as this one gets a little bit tighter. I think that's going to put Callista Rashawn Baker over that 20-point season high so far. She's going to get a couple free throws. The way she's been shooting, those are going to be all money in the bank.
It's now or nothing right now for North, and you can tell by the game plan with 4:04 to go. You throw Griffin back on the floor. Same thing with Gauthier, both playing with 4 personal fouls. So we'll see if the Wildcats take advantage and start to take it right at those 2.
Absolutely. I'd be driving the lane, go at those 2. They know they've got to keep their hands clean. Even if you're not able to get through them, you can pull up for a jumper, just try to get some easy, high-percentage field goals on these defenders. They're going to keep their hands clean, especially on shooting fouls.
Wissink to Elstead. Griffin's open. Elstead takes it herself. Elstead, and a foul here against the Wildcats. That's going to be their 5th, so another foul to give yet. With 3:52 to go, it's going to be the second whistled against Abby Hammonds.
And I thought Elstead was going to roll that in. As we saw before, she had the over her head shot. Very instinctive basketball player. Thought she'd have a little bit of touch for that one. The Wildcats get the inbound. Now they'll get back on offense. Callista Rashawn Baker really has been the star of this game. She takes it up court now, trying to get loose, set up the offense.
Another Spartans turnover. They had 18 on Tuesday, which sounds like a lot, but they forced a total of 27. Rashawn Baker rolls off, rebound, Lieb.
And Rashawn Baker, they're standing in the middle of the court there, but that was not a very contested field goal. This is what's going to happen with the Spartans. You got a lot of players in foul trouble. You're not going to be able to contest those shots.
9-point deficit. Spartans been in this spot now, back-to-back games. 3 ball off the mark for Elstead.
Wide open. You got to start hitting those. You're down 9 points here. You only got 3 minutes left to go. You need Wissink and Elstead to step up offensively here, start drilling some threes, get you back in this game. 2
games ago, the Spartans even made an improbable comeback, down 15. They lost by 2 against Appleton West.
Interception.
Rashawn Baker will take it. Missed it.
Oh.
You saw Griffin hold up there. Did not want to commit that 5th foul.
Yep.
Now a 2-on-1. Gauthier trying to avoid a 5th. Gauthier, 1 dribble. Gauthier tipped out and controlled by Annalise Hammonds. She'll push the other way. Cuts back in, will slow it down.
Smart job there by West. You don't need to worry about
Rashawn Baker at 17.
And she rallies back after missing the layup on the last one there. Nice job by West. Went down there smooth, didn't panic, set things up for a second. And who comes open but number 14?
Well, how about the fact it would have been easy just to dribble out and let some time tick off, but she zigzagged around a couple of defenders, taking it strong for points 16 and 17.
Yeah, Rashawn Baker trying to put the dagger in right now as we tick just about 2 minutes left in this game. Wildcats now up 49-38. That might be a clincher.
But free throws with the clock stopped, 2:13 to go. Wissink drawing the foul. It's the 4th on Davis, the lone Wildcat in serious foul trouble. No, and talking about the Spartans, they were down 15, nearly played comeback, lost by 2 against West of Appleton a week ago. Tuesday, down 18 with about 5 minutes to go, came all the way back, ended up losing by 7 against Hortonville. The Polar Bears, right now ranked number 5 in the latest Division II state rankings.
Yeah, this is certainly not an insurmountable lead at all for North. Drilling both free throws there is Ashley Wissink, so she now keeps this in. This is going to be competitive. The Spartans down just 9 points here. As you said, 16-0 run. Of course, they did lose that game, but this is a lead they're capable of surmounting.
They can hit their threes.
Interception
Gauthier takes
right
it away. She'll take it herself, and the foul!
And 1. Beautiful execution, and these North fans are fired up as they're going to send number 3, Bree Gauthier, to the line.
Yeah, number 33, Bree Gauthier, has 7 points. Watch this takeaway, the finish, and the foul against Rashawn Baker. That's her first.
Beautiful job there to go up strong, and you see the frustration there on Rashawn Baker's face. I think she's thinking, what do I do? How can I keep my hands clean? I'm playing against somebody who's 5'10". Got a couple inches on Rashawn Baker there. Now they're going to try to get in Rashawn Baker's face, frustrate her here with the press.
There's the foul to give for North. The 3rd. That's going to go against Wissink. 5 straight scored by the Spartans. They were down 11 a second ago, back to within 6. This full court pressure worked in that comeback effort against Hortonville a couple of days ago. Now it came up short, nonetheless the turnovers were forced, and the comeback was on.
North trying to rally, trying to force West into making a mistake so they can jump on another one of these balls and take it back for points.
Rashawn Baker. Gauthier brings down the board, and they're going to call her for the foul, which is going to be her 5th, and she's disqualified.
Rashawn Baker took a pretty good shot there. Looked like her head came down kind of rough. We'll watch the replay here as Rashawn Baker's trying to go down. She just kind of catches an incidental shoulder, kind of a hip check, and she goes down.
That's a tough 5th foul against Gauthier. Coach Engen asking for an explanation. Team foul, 7th minute, 44 to go. So free throw, or a free throw will be a, well, we'll see. Because was the possession with Gauthier?
See, and I don't think it was. I think it was just kind of an incidental contact thing. But you talk about that being the foul to take you out of the game here. This kind of looks like certainly contact was made, but that's a smart move by the sophomore guard, Callista Rashawn Baker. A veteran move there to draw that last foul. She knew the number 33, Bree Gauthier, was up to 4. So she's able to draw it there, kind of make the officials look, and now she's got somebody out of the game.
And it will be a bonus for Rashawn Baker. She has scored a game-high 17.
Comes to the line now up 49-43. She could really do a lot to help her team ice this one out with a couple made shots.
She's been the reason why her team's been able to stay in front here in this second half after a nice start for the Spartans at a halftime.
Minute 45 here, and she doesn't look like she's feeling the pressure at all. 2 drilled free throws. She has got ice water in the veins. This sophomore has been fantastic for the Wildcats here in the biggest of rivalry games.
Minute 40 left. Griffin, Wissink.
Banks it from downtown. Looks like West recovers. Number 34, Annalise Hammonds. Trying to get her hands on that one.
Heck of a box out. Sage Turner had no chance to get that loose ball. Lieb will sub back in. Out goes Turner.
And Lieb, one of the most aggressive defenders we've seen here tonight. Able to keep her hands clean, but just really high energy, shuffles her feet very well. Really quick athlete who's been pressing the issue on the defensive side against this front court for West.
That's a 3 ball for Lieb. 5-point game with 90 seconds remaining. 51-46 Wildcats and the timeout being taken.
And both these teams now are going to go to the bench. The coaches on either side. For West, coach is saying, let's just keep our heads about us. We got a minute and a half here. We're at home. Don't let this one get away from us. Meanwhile, North's coaching staff saying, you've been here before. You're a second half team. You can do these comebacks. It's time to finally finish one.
Final timeout for North. They're out of timeouts. 4 timeouts remain for West. Both teams in a single bonus if a jump ball occurs, arrow favoring the Wildcats.
And Oshkosh North right now just kind of on the border of what they've been averaging, 51.5 points per game with a minute and a half left here. See if they can match that up. That might be enough to tie this one up if they can continue to jump on some balls here from West. They've been able to steal a couple of balls, get some extra possessions, which is what you need when you're down and late in these games.
Both teams with a pair of players in double figures. Roshan Baker at 19 to lead the Wildcats, 12 for Kendra Davis on the inside. For the Spartans, they've gotten 13 points from Ashley Wissink and 12 for Brooke Elstead.
Doesn't get any better than this. Tight game, crosstown matchup. We got it all for you right here on the Oshkosh Media Stream. Big time high school basketball. This has been a really great game, partner.
And it has the inbound coming for Abby Hammonds. In a game in which the Wildcats jump in front 8-0, playing with the lead pretty much throughout. And
another steal, no! Oh!
Yeah, Elstead able to get rid of it, but she flings it out of bounds. They're going to say it was off of the Wildcats.
Yep.
So Elstead flung it. And now the inbound for Elstead with a 5-point game and a minute 23 to go. You don't have to go for 3 here, but a bad inbound pass over the reach of Wissink and stolen by Elstead. Wissink inside. Harmon scores 2. It's a 3-point game.
Nice recovery there by Elstead after kind of throwing that one up for grabs. Stays back on defense.
And another turnover.
Oh boy, the Spartan crowd fired up. You see the green, the North faithful there in the corner. Their team is feeling it with a minute 11 left here in this game. Spartans down 51-48.
This was an 11-point game, but a minute or 2 ago. Wissink had it denied. Had it denied, and Abby Hammonds could away with the basketball. Jump ball, arrow favoring the Wildcats. 68 seconds to go. It's 51-48. West trying to survive after being up by as many as 11 just a minute or 2 ago.
And now the pressure's on. Let's see if North can force a mistake here with this full court press. Really trying to get something going.
And a hole that's going to go against Elstead. And so West will walk the length of the floor for a 1-and-1 bonus.
51-48 with a minute 3 left to go in this game. So you got to wonder, does West start to feel this pressure a little bit from the full court press back on their own side of the possession? They're sending number 34, Annalise Hammonds, here to the line for some free throws. Check back on the foul here.
That off the second foul. Free throw no good. Battle for the rebound. That's controlled by North following that last foul that went against Roshan Baker.
Trying to get back on offense. Wissink pass it out to Lieb.
Griffin off the dribble drive. Offensive foul. She's disqualified.
And that's a brutal way to foul out of this game. Number 5 on offense as you're driving, trying to get this game tied up down by 3. Just 50 seconds left in this game.
Knocks over Kendra Davis. Fouls out with 49.7 seconds to go. It stays 51-48 Oshkosh West.
It's all going to be on the guards now here for Oshkosh North. Can Ashley Wissink and Brooke Elstead get this done? Or maybe does Emma Lieb, number 22, get left all alone for a wide open mid-range shot?
Sage Turner takes the spot. off this offensive foul, the charge against Nadia Griffin. She's disqualified. Same thing with Bree Gauthier. Inbound coming for Abby Hammonds. Pressure D for the Spartans. They've had a couple of opportunities with the ball down 3. Annalise Hammonds gets trapped, lost it, turns around trying to find it, recovered by Abby Hammonds, and a timeout is going to be credited to the Wildcats. They will have 3 timeouts remaining.
And the Wildcats starting to sweat here a little bit early on in this game. It's easy not to panic about the press when you're up by 11 points, but when it's a tight game, rivalry matchup in your gym, you're worried about losing this one. You start to overthink. The Spartans certainly look like they're trying to get in West's face and their heads right now.
44.8 seconds to go. 3-point ball game. This is North basketball at its finest with both of these teams really do not wave that white flag. They have come back numerous times this season from double-digit deficits, but have not been able to get over the hump just yet. North trying to change that here. West now in a different position than they have been in the first 5 games, trying to protect the lead and close it out.
And North in a desperate position here, trying to close this one out with 2 players having recently fouled out here in the 4th quarter. Can they get this done here, pressing up, trying to force the issue on the West Wildcats?
At some point, you have to foul Roshan Baker, not the player you want to foul.
Nope.
Gets it across the timeline. And now the foul, which is going to be team foul 10. So it's a double bonus.
And they're going to take the opportunity there. As you said, Rashawn Baker, not the player you want at the free throw line. They're going to wait till she dishes it out to Kendra Davis, and they feel like their chances are a little bit better with number 50 taking the shots from the charity stripe here. Can Davis ice this one out with just under 40 seconds left in the game?
They get Elstad for her 3rd. 13 now for Davis. 4-point lead for the Wildcats, 34 seconds to go.
And here we go. As soon as that ball's dished off, anybody but Rashawn Baker, who's been excellent so far in this game, they get her thinking maybe they have a better advantage, but Kendra Davis makes them pay at the charity stripe here. Oshkosh North now letting the ball roll to half court, trying to conserve the clock. Need to get a shot off here quickly.
Harmon had it blocked. It was kicked out by Wissink, and the Wildcats will take over.
28 seconds left. Wildcats ahead 53-48.
Boy, for all we talk about Roshan Baker, how about Kendra Davis? Her previous high, 6 points. She came in averaging 4 a game. She has scored 14 of this one.
Deep pass.
Now it's Davis. On the bounce pass, Roshan Baker. Abby Hammonds.
Emma Lieb up here in this front court, desperately trying to get a steal on Rashawn Baker.
Lieb picking up her 2nd personal. And for the Wildcat faithful, they can start to sense it now. The Wildcats have not beaten the Spartans since February 27th of 2014. There have been 6 consecutive losses against their in-town rival. And with 15.4 seconds to go, up by 5. Coming down to making your free throws now, Roshan Baker missing the first, and she tells her teammates, I got it, that's my bad.
That's on me, but she's been so excellent other than that, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see her absolutely swish this 2nd free throw through. She's been nothing but net from the 3 and the charity stripe.
She ties her high at 20 points. First accomplished back on the 25th of November.
North in desperation territory, down 6, need 2 quick threes, and that's likely going to ice the game out for you now. You got 10 seconds left in this one. You need a miraculous turnover and a very quick outside shot.
10.7 to go, 54-48 Wildcats. Callista Roshan Baker, a 20-point effort. Big second half showing, a couple of big threes. Davis fouled, and she too. It's been a nice 1-2 combo. They've combined for 34, their team 54. Already more than 8 points above their per game average.
And Kendra Davis, number 50, not just excellent on those field goals, but also on the free throws here, which she's gonna get a shot at, no pun intended here, gonna get a shot at a couple more of those. So now West going into the basketball version of a prevent defense, just setting 4 people back deep, making sure nothing wild happens here if one of these goes errant and goes off the backboard.
3rd foul against Lieb. Davis with 16, so she's 10 above her previous high as the senior.
Ice water in the veins, feeling no pressure here are the Wildcats at home. A really, really smooth job on those last 3 free throws, drilling all 3 of them.
And again, doing this without their number 2 scorer, Kirsten McNulty, who rolled her ankle on Tuesday, unable to give it a go. Players have stepped up. 5 seconds away from victory.
big loss for West and a very short week to recover, but they've done it. And who else to close out this game with a steal but number 14, Callista Rashawn Baker. She was all over the court tonight for Oshkosh West as they get the first win in a long time against their crosstown rivals, the North Spartans. Some great sportsmanship. This was a tightly contested game here on both sides, but players lining up for a handshake. They know it was a hard-fought battle on both sides.
56-48 the final. Rashawn Baker, a game high. 20 points tied her season best. Kendra Davis, 16 points surpassed her previous high of 6 as the Wildcats go to 1-5, 1-3 in conference play. Their first win over the Spartans since February of 2014. Oshkosh North drops to 0-6, 0-4 in conference play despite a 13-point showing by Wissink and a 12-point showing by Elstead. What a battle, but a battle that sees the Wildcats outscore the Spartans 30-25 in that second half.
Yeah, really, really good job by the Wildcats. They didn't ever get panicked or pressed too much. When they were ahead, they still kept on working hard, and when they started to fall behind, things got contested. They absolutely maintained their composure, and nobody more so than number 14, Callista Rashawn Baker, the sophomore guard, had the game of her life, tying a career high 20 points. She did it everywhere. Field goals, free throws, three-pointers. In the big moments, number 14 stepped up big time. And now the Oshkosh West faithful clad in white, hoping this can be the first win of 2 tonight as they have a doubleheader with North. The men's teams will be on a little bit later.
So 56-48 the final. Oshkosh West victorious. For Nick Bodie and our entire crew, Matt Menzel, so long. Good night from Oshkosh. You've been tuned in to girls high school basketball from Oshkosh Media.